Can love really melt a frozen heart? Or is that just something we tell ourselves when we're too afraid to walk away? The bullet pierces skin 2 millimeters from Noelle's heart. She doesn't scream. The warehouse has gone silent, the way Ji-hoon's world always is. She watches his small hands form desperate shapes in the air, watches his mouth spell her name. But there's only ringing, only cold spreading through her chest like January claiming spring. Soo-min's voice shatters the quiet, raw, desperate, a man breaking in real time. 3 weeks ago, none of this existed. Noelle Winters didn't know what a simple brooch could mean. Didn't know a 7-year-old boy could hold an entire criminal empire hostage with silence. Didn't know some men bury their hearts on purpose, and that bringing them back might cost everything. 3 weeks ago, it was just another December shift at Winterwish. Another lonely Christmas in Washington, D.C. Another day of pretending she wasn't waiting for something that felt like home. But that was before the boy walked in. Before she signed to him in a language he thought no one spoke anymore. Before she learned that some invitations change the entire trajectory of your life. Some doors, once opened, can never be closed. This is the story of 3 people who forgot how to be warm, and the winter that taught them how to thaw. The garland sparkles, the register chimes, the customers smile. Noelle wipes down the counter at Winterwish for the 3rd time that hour. The craft store smells like cinnamon and artificial pine, manufactured comfort. Nothing real. She's 24. Georgetown ER nurse on night rotation when she's not here. Studio apartment in Shaw with heat that rattles like old grief. Her mother's voice echoes from yesterday's phone call. "Baby, why do you stay in a city that doesn't love you back?" "Because someone has to," Noelle thinks, folding tissue paper. "Because I'm good at what I do." Outside, December presses cold fingers against the windows. Federal buildings glitter. Tourists laugh. Power makes its deals in marble halls where people like her are never invited. She's learned to be okay with that. The door chimes. Cold rushes in. She glances up and sees him. 7 years old, maybe 8. Korean features. Black puffer coat swallowing his small frame. Eyes scanning the store with laser focus. Not wandering curiosity, but urgent desperation. He moves past displays, past wreaths, straight to the jewelry counter. His hands grip the glass edge. His breathing comes fast. Noelle approaches. "Hey there. Can I help you find something?" Nothing. He doesn't turn. Doesn't acknowledge sound at all. She tries again, louder. "Sweetheart, are you looking for a gift?" His hand slaps the glass. Not violent, frantic. Again. Again. Understanding floods through her. Her hands move before thought catches up. She learned American Sign Language at 16, volunteering in Atlanta. Hasn't used it in years, but the body remembers what the mind forgets. "What are you looking for?" Her fingers form the question, clear and patient. The boy's head whips around. His eyes go wide. Shock, recognition, relief all at once. The look of someone calling into darkness who finally hears an echo. His hands fly in response. Fast. Beautiful. Snowflake. Silver. My mother's. I lost it. When? 2 years ago. Christmas Eve. His small face crumples. I need it back. Something in Noelle's chest opens. She understands loss, understands objects that hold more than metal and memory. "I'll help you look," she signs. Together. The boy's expression softens, almost a smile. The door opens again. This time, winter itself walks in. The man in the cashmere coat moves like absolute zero. Silent, unavoidable, emptying space around him. Tall, Korean. Early 40s, with features that might have been handsome before they froze into careful control. Other customers drift away without understanding why. He scans the store. finds the boy. His jaw tightens, a crack in his composure. Then he sees Noel's hands, still mid-sign, still mid-conversation. He stops dead. You know sign language? Noel straightens. Yes. With my son. Not a question. A statement that costs him something. He was looking for something. I'm helping him search. The man studies her. Not the dismissive once-over she's used to from men in expensive coats. Something rawer, more confused, like she's disrupted an equation he thought he'd solved. The boy tugs his sleeve, signs rapid and pleading. The man's shoulders shift, weight settling deeper. My name is Han Soo-min, he says, formality like armor. My son tells me you're the first person outside our household who's signed to him in 2 years. 2 years, the same timeline as the lost item. As whatever happened Christmas Eve. I'm Noel, and I'm happy to keep helping, if that's all right with you. Soo-min's gaze searches her face, looking for angle, pity, hidden agenda. He won't find it. Noel learned long ago that kindness doesn't need a reason. How much do you earn here? Abrupt. Businesslike. She blinks. Excuse me? Per hour. Per week. He produces a black card. Minimalist. Expensive. I'll pay you 10 times that amount to come to my home for 3 weeks. Teach my son. Help him communicate. I'm not certified as an ASL tutor. I don't care about certification. Something cracks in his voice. Might be desperation if men like him allowed themselves such things. I care that my son smiled when you signed to him. He's been isolated for 2 years and you made him feel heard in 3 minutes. Noel looks at the boy. He watches her with wide, hopeful eyes. A child who's learned that the world doesn't speak his language. She thinks of her studio. Her double shifts. The quiet filling her life like water in lungs. She thinks of this boy who somehow learned he's alone even in crowded rooms. I work nights at Georgetown ER, she says. I can come during the day. Soo-min's shoulders drop half an inch. Relief. Carefully controlled. That's acceptable. He writes an address on the card's back. Their fingers brush during the exchange. His are ice cold. Tomorrow, 10 a.m., the gate will expect you. He signs to the boy, something quick that makes the child's face light up. And they're gone. Gone like winter wind, leaving only cold memory and something that might have been gratitude. Noel studies the card. The address is in Kalorama, where ambassadors in power keep their fortresses. The name, Han Soo-min. She doesn't recognize it. Not yet. The Han estate doesn't look like a home. It looks like a statement written in white stone and manicured silence. Noel stands at the gate the next morning, December sun doing nothing to warm the facade. The intercom crackles. A woman's voice, crisp, professional, requests her name. The gates swing open with mechanical precision. The walk to the front door feels exposed, like crossing into a country with different laws. A woman in a charcoal suit meets her. Housekeeper Min, 50s, with assessing eyes. Miss Winters, Mr. Han is in a meeting. I'll show you to the study. The interior is exactly what Noel expected. Marble floors, silk wallpaper, art worth more than her yearly salary. Everything beautiful, everything cold. A museum where no one actually lives. They pass a dining room seating 20. A living room with untouched furniture. Hallways of closed doors. No family photos, no clutter. No evidence a child exists here at all. Housekeeper Min stops at a door, knocks twice, opens without waiting. The study is different. Warm wood, built-in shelves, a desk where winter light pools. And the boy, Ji-hoon, she'll learn, sitting in an armchair too large for him, staring at his hands. He looks up, sees Noel, transforms. You came. He signs frantically. I promised. She signs back. I keep promises. Housekeeper Min speaks briefly. Ji-hoon's expression closes like a slammed door. He nods mechanically. When they're alone, Noelle sits on the floor beside his chair. Gets on his level. What did she say? Be good. Don't waste Miss Winters's time. Don't embarrass father. Noelle's chest tightens. You're not wasting anything. And you could never be an embarrassment. Ji-hoon studies her face, like he's testing whether adults can mean what they say. Can I ask you something? She signs. He nods. The item you were looking for. The snowflake. Tell me about it. He doesn't move for a long moment. Then, slowly, his hands begin forming words. My mother wore it. Always. She said snowflakes are special because no two are the same. That, I'm her snowflake. One of a kind. She sounds wonderful. She died. Matter of fact. The way children state unbearable truths. 2 years ago. Christmas Eve. Bad men came. She hid me in a cupboard. Told me to be quiet. So quiet they wouldn't hear me breathing. Noelle can barely keep her hands steady. I was so quiet, Ji-hoon continues. So good at being silent. I heard everything. Voices. Sounds I didn't understand. Then nothing. Then father found me. But the brooch was gone. Mother's snowflake disappeared. And I. His hands freeze. Eyes too old for 7. I haven't spoken since. Not with my voice. Father says it's trauma, but really. He hesitates. I'm still being quiet. So the bad things won't find us again. Noelle's eyes burn. She reaches out, slow, asking permission. And when Ji-hoon nods, she takes his hand. You were incredibly brave, she signs one-handed. Your mother would be so proud of how you protected yourself. But Ji-hoon, you're safe now. You're allowed to make noise again. You're allowed to exist without hiding. Something cracks in his face. He throws his arms around her neck and sobs. Silent sobs shaking his small body. 2 years of held breath finally released. Noelle holds him, rocks gently. Doesn't see the man in the doorway until he speaks. He hasn't cried since the funeral. She looks up. Soo-min stands perfectly still, watching with an expression she can't read. Pain, maybe. Or the helpless fury of a man who can eliminate threats across continents but can't comfort his own child. I'm sorry, Noelle says quietly. I didn't mean... Don't apologize. He steps inside carefully, like approaching something fragile. You gave him permission to grieve. That's more than I've managed. Ji-hoon pulls back, wipes his eyes, signs to his father. Soo-min's jaw tightens. He signs back, brief, gentle. The boy nods and returns to his chair. He wants to show you his mother's photo. Soo-min translates. If that's acceptable? Of course. Soo-min moves to the desk, opens a locked drawer. She notes that, and removes a silver frame. He hesitates before handing it over, like giving away something irreplaceable. The woman in the photo is beautiful. Korean, white dress, the snowflake brooch at her throat. Her smile is genuine warmth, the kind that makes you believe in goodness. Soo-jin, Soo-min says quietly. My wife, Ji-hoon's mother. She's lovely. She was. He takes the frame back. His fingers trace the edge. She was everything I'm not. Open. Trusting. Believed people were fundamentally good despite all evidence. And you don't, Noelle thinks. The men who killed her. He stops. Breathes. When he continues, his voice is emptied. They were rivals. Business competitors in my organization. They came on Christmas Eve to send a message. Soo-jin hid Ji-hoon, made him promise silence no matter what. She saved his life with that quiet. At the cost of hers, Noelle whispers. Yes. The word is granite. I was across town. A meeting. By the time I arrived, he doesn't finish. I found everyone involved, he says flatly. Every man who gave orders, carried them out, or knew and stayed silent. It took 6 months. I was thorough. Noelle should be afraid, should recognize this confession for what it is. But all she sees is a father holding his dead wife's photo. A man who froze because grief was too heavy to carry while hunting monsters. And the brooch? Disappeared that night, torn from her during... He stops, breathes. The struggle. I've had people searching for 2 years. Antique dealers, pawn shops, private collectors, nothing. Maybe that's not what matters most. He looks at her sharply. Meaning? Maybe finding the actual brooch isn't what Ji-hoon needs. Maybe he needs to know that his mother's love, what that brooch represented, didn't disappear. That it's still here. That he's still special to someone. Soo-min stares. Something shifts in his face. The ice doesn't melt, but it cracks slightly. My organization deals in information, protection, territory. I control half the Korean networks on the eastern seaboard. I've negotiated with generals and senators. I've made problems disappear with phone calls. He sets the photo down. And I never thought to tell my son he's still loved. The vulnerability in that admission makes him more human than anything else could. You were busy keeping him alive, Noelle says gently. Survival doesn't always leave room for softer things. No. His eyes meet hers. Sometimes survival becomes an excuse for emotional cowardice. Before she can respond, Ji-hoon signs. They both turn. Teach me feelings, the boy's hands say. Teach me how to sign what's in my heart. Noelle smiles. That's exactly what we'll do. For the next 3 hours, she does. She teaches him signs beyond basics. Not just happy or sad, but bittersweet, nostalgic, hopeful. She teaches him how to describe his mother. Good memories, not just the loss. How to sign about her laugh, her cooking, the way she hummed off key. Soo-min stays, claims it's to ensure Ji-hoon behaves, but Noelle sees the truth. He's learning too. Learning the language of his son's interior world. Learning that emotions can be named without being defeated. Around noon, Ji-hoon's energy starts to fade. The emotional release of crying has exhausted him. Noelle suggests a break, and the boy curls up on the window seat with a blanket, eyes growing heavy. He hasn't napped in 6 months, Soo-min says quietly, watching his son drift off. He's been too anxious, too afraid to let his guard down. He feels safe, Noelle says. That's everything. They move to the far corner of the study, voices low so they don't wake Ji-hoon. Soo-min leans against the bookshelf, and for the first time, he looks almost relaxed, almost approachable. Can I ask you something? He says. You can ask. I may not answer. She throws his own words back at him. His mouth quirks, almost a smile. Why did you learn sign language? It's not a common skill for someone your age. Noelle thinks about Atlanta, about being 16 and angry at the world, about the volunteer coordinator who suggested she channel her energy into something useful. I was a difficult teenager, she admits. My dad had just died, car accident, and I was so angry all the time. At God, at drunk drivers, at the unfairness of everything. My mom was worried I'd spiral, so she signed me up for volunteer work at a school for deaf children. Soo-min watches her, really watches her, like he's seeing past the surface to something deeper. At first, I hated it, Noelle continues. Thought it was punishment. But then I met this little girl, Kendra. She was 6, and she'd just lost her grandmother, the only person who'd learned to sign for her. She was so isolated, so alone in her grief. And I couldn't stand it. Couldn't stand watching someone that young carry something that heavy with no way to express it. So you learned, Soo-min says softly. So I learned, and kept learning. Because once you see someone trapped in silence, you can't unsee it. You can't just walk away. Something shifts in Soo-min's expression. That's why you stayed yesterday. When I offered you this job. Not for the money. The money helps, Noelle says honestly. But no, not for the money. For Ji-hoon. For Ji-hoon. She meets his eyes. Because no child should be trapped in silence. Especially not one who's already survived so much. Soo-min is quiet for a long moment. Then, your father would be proud of who you've become. The words land like a physical touch. Gentle. Unexpected. Thank you, Noelle whispers. They stand in comfortable silence, watching Ji-hoon sleep in the winter sunlight, and Noelle realizes something startling. This doesn't feel like a job. It feels like the beginning of something she can't quite name yet. Something that might change the entire trajectory of her life. When housekeeper Min brings lunch, delicate dishes that smell like comfort, Soo-min insists Noelle join them. They sit at the small window table. Ji-hoon signs excitedly about new words. Soo-min translates when needed. Voice softer than morning. It almost feels like family. Almost. But Noelle sees the security cameras. The way Soo-min's phone buzzes with messages he reads with hardening eyes. The keypad locks on every door. This isn't a home. It's a fortress. And fortresses exist because enemies still wait at the gates. The call comes on day 8. Noelle is teaching Ji-hoon about metaphors, how to sign concepts like break the ice when Soo-min's phone rings, not buzzes, rings, which, she's learned, means emergency. He glances at the screen. His face empties. Excuse me. He's gone before she can respond, door closing with controlled force. Ji-hoon looks at Noelle. That sound means trouble, he signs. Father only uses that phone for serious problems. 10 minutes later, housekeeper Min appears. Miss Winters, Mr. Han requests you bring Ji-hoon to his office immediately. The office is second floor, a room Noelle hasn't approached. When Min opens the door, she understands why. It's Command Central. Monitors showing security feeds. Screens displaying stock tickers, news, surveillance footage. A desk with multiple phones and a military-grade laptop. Soo-min stands by the window, phone to ear, speaking rapid Korean, the tone that makes subordinates move fast. He ends the call, turns. His face could cut glass. There's been a development, he says without preamble. A rival faction, Jin-ho's group, has made a move. They know about you. Noelle's stomach drops. Me? You've been seen entering this house daily for over a week. They've researched you. Georgetown ER. Shaw address. Your mother in Atlanta. The room tilts. My mother is fine. I have people watching her. But they know you matter to Ji-hoon, which means they'll try to use you. Use me how? As leverage, as bait. He pulls up a photo on the monitor. This is Jin-ho. He was my brother's second in command. When Soo-jin was killed, I thought I'd eliminated everyone involved. I was wrong. He went underground. Built his own faction. Now he's surfacing. The man in the photo is younger than Soo-min. Harder. Eyes like black ice. Why now? Noelle asks. Because I've been distracted. Focused on Ji-hoon instead of territory. He sees weakness. Caring for your son isn't weakness. In my world, it is. He looks at her. Which is why I'm giving you a choice. Leave tonight. I'll pay you for the full 3 weeks. Provide security until this resolves. Ensure your protection. Or. He stops. Hope, fear, need cross his face. Or you stay. Move into the East Wing. Accept a security detail. Continue teaching Ji-hoon. But staying means accepting risk. Means trusting me to keep you safe. Ji-hoon signs frantically. Don't go. Please. You're the only one who really listens. Noelle looks at the boy. At his desperate hands. At the father behind him, trying so hard not to show how much her answer matters. She thinks of her quiet studio, her predictable shifts, the life that fits like outgrown clothing. She thinks of the inspirational poster at Georgetown ER. The bravest thing you can do is care when caring costs something. I'll stay, she says. Soo-min's eyes close briefly. When they open, there's something new there. Not warmth, not yet. But the possibility of it. Thank you, he says, and means it. The East Wing bedroom is larger than Noelle's entire apartment, floor-to-ceiling windows, a bathroom with heated floors, a bed like sleeping on clouds. She can't enjoy any of it, because at night, when Ji-hoon sleeps and Soo-min handles business, Noelle lies awake listening to the house, footsteps of security guards, surveillance system hums, the weight of being inside a fortress that's also a target. She thinks about Jin-ho, about the photo Soo-min showed her, about men who see children as leverage and women as collateral damage. She thinks about her mother in Atlanta, safe and unaware that her daughter has just walked into a world where violence is currency and loyalty is bought with blood. On the second night, she almost leaves. She's packing her bag, hands shaking slightly, when there's a soft knock on her door. She opens it expecting housekeeper Min. Instead, it's Soo-min. He's in casual clothes, dark sweater, jeans. She's never seen him in anything but suits. It makes him look younger, more human. You're leaving, he says. Not a question, an observation. I was thinking about it, Noelle admits. I wouldn't blame you. This is more than you signed up for. It's not fear of Jin-ho, she says, surprising herself with the truth. It's fear of getting too attached, to Ji-hoon, to this place, to... She stops herself. To what? His voice is gentle. To the idea that I could matter here, that I could make a difference. Because what happens when this is over? When the 3 weeks are up? When you don't need me anymore? Soo-min steps into the room, closes the door behind him. What if I told you I'll always need you? Her heart hammers. Soo-min. I don't mean as an employee, I mean... He runs a hand through his hair, frustrated with his own inability to articulate. You're the first person in 2 years who's made this house feel less like a tomb. The first person who's looked at me and seen something worth saving. The first person who's given my son permission to be human again. You're giving me too much credit. I'm giving you exactly the credit you deserve. He takes a step closer. I'm asking you to stay, not for 3 weeks. For as long as you're willing. Because I think you're what we've been missing. What I've been missing. Noelle can't breathe, can't think, can only feel the pull of his words, the intensity of his gaze, the dangerous possibility that maybe she's been missing something too. Okay, she whispers, I'll stay. The relief on his face is so profound it's almost painful to witness. Thank you, he says. And then, softer. I won't waste your faith in me. I promise. After he leaves, Noelle unpacks her bag with shaking hands. She's just made a choice that will change everything. She can feel it in her bones. Day 12. Morning light. Ji-hoon runs into her room before breakfast. Against protocol, but the guards let him pass because his smile is worth the breach. Father says we can go to the garden today, he signs. Real outside. Not just windows. First time she's been allowed beyond the house perimeter since moving in. The garden is winter dead but beautiful. Bare trees, frost on stone benches, a koi pond covered with netting. Ji-hoon runs ahead, breathing visible in cold air, touching everything like he's remembering what the world feels like. Soo-min walks beside Noelle, close enough their arms almost brush. He hasn't been outside in 6 months, he says quietly. Too dangerous. But you... He pauses. You make me want to give him normal things again. Children need normal. Children need to stay alive. They watch Ji-hoon crouch by the pond, tracing frost patterns. Can I ask something? Noelle says. You can ask. I may not answer. Do you regret it? This life, what it's cost. He's quiet so long she thinks he won't respond. Then, I didn't choose this life. I was born into it. My father ran the Han organization before me. His father before that. You don't choose your blood. But you could have walked away. No. Firm. Ah, absolute. Walking away means leaving territory to worse men. Means abandoning people who depend on me. Means letting chaos fill the vacuum. I've done terrible things, Miss Winters. But I've also maintained order. Protected communities the police ignore. Built systems that work when legal systems fail. That sounds like rationalization. It is. He meets her eyes. I'm not a good man. But I'm trying to be a good father. That's the only redemption available to people like me. His honesty breaks through her resistance. He's not asking forgiveness. Not pretending his hands are clean. Just stating facts with exhausted clarity. You're better than you think, she says softly. His laugh is bitter. You don't know what I've done. I know you've spent 2 years trying to bring your son back from silence. I know you've hired every specialist, tried every therapy, broken yourself against his grief. I know that when I walked into Winter Wish, you looked at me like I was a miracle, not because of what I could do for you, but for him. Soo-min stares at her. You see too much. I see enough. He steps closer. Close enough she smells his cologne, cedar and something darker. Close enough she has to tilt her head back to maintain eye contact. You frighten me, he says, voice low. More than Jin-ho. More than any rival, because they can only kill me. He stops, breathes. You make me want things I buried with my wife. Like what? Like partnership. Like someone who really sees me and doesn't run. Like a future that's more than survival. Soo-min, I understand the dynamics. Wealthy man, employee, power imbalance. You can refuse, and nothing changes. You'll stay as long as you want, leave when you want, be protected regardless. But I needed you to know. He reaches up, stops himself, drops his hand. I haven't felt warmth in 2 years. Not until you. Noelle can barely breathe. Every rational part screams warnings. He's dangerous. This is how innocent people get destroyed, by men who confuse intensity for intimacy. But there's nothing confused in his eyes. Only clarity. Only raw honesty from someone who's spent so long frozen that the first touch of warmth feels like resurrection. I don't know what to say, she whispers. Say you'll think about it. Say you won't disappear. The moment stretches between them, fragile and weighted with possibility. Noelle is acutely aware of how close they're standing, how his cologne smells like cedar and winter nights, how his eyes have softened from ice to something warmer. She's about to respond when Ji-hoon's shout cuts through the moment. Not a word, just sound, actual sound, rusty and shocked and pure. They both spin. The boy is pointing at the far corner, at something small and silver glinting in morning light, caught in dried holly branches. The brooch. Noelle breathes. They run. All 3 of them running across winter-dead grass, breath visible in cold air, hearts pounding with hope and disbelief. Soo-min reaches it first. His hands shake as he carefully extracts it from the branches. The snowflake brooch. Soo-jin's brooch. Tarnished from 2 years of weather, the clasp broken, but the crystal center still intact. Still catching light, still scattering tiny rainbows across his palm. He stares at it like he's holding his wife's heart, like he's holding proof that miracles still exist. Slowly he kneels in the grass, Ji-hoon approaches cautiously, eyes wide, barely daring to believe. Soo-min signs with one hand, his other still cradling the brooch. Your mother's love. It never left us. It was here all along, waiting for the right moment, waiting for the right person to help us find it. His eyes flick to Noel when he signs, right person. Ji-hoon reaches out, takes the brooch with trembling fingers, brings it to his chest. And then, in a voice that's cracked and unpracticed and absolutely miraculous, he speaks. Mama. One word. 2 years of silence, shattered by a single word. Noelle's hand flies to her mouth, tears streaming. She's witnessing something sacred, something that feels like resurrection. Soo-min pulls his son into his arms, holds him like he's the only thing tethering him to earth. His shoulders shake. He's crying, actually crying, and making no attempt to hide it. Yes, he chokes out. Yes, Mama, she's here. She's always here. In you. In this. In. He looks at Noel over Ji-hoon's head. His face is wet. Raw. Completely unguarded. Thank you, he mouths. Before Noel can respond, before she can even process the enormity of this moment, she hears it. The distinctive ring of Soo-min's emergency phone. The moment fractures. He stiffens, checks the screen. His face goes pale. I have to leave, he says. Now. There's a situation. What situation? One of my warehouses. Fire. People trapped. He's already moving toward the house. Kwan, we need to move. Noel grabs his arm. Is it real? He stops, looks at her. Probably not. But if it is, if my people are actually in danger, I have to go. That's what leadership means. Then take more security. I'm taking everyone I can spare. You and Ji-hoon stay inside, lock everything. Don't open doors for anyone but me or housekeeper Min. He cups her face. 2 hours. I promise. Then he's gone. Running. Kwan and 8 guards follow. Cars screech out. The garden feels too quiet. Noel picks up the brooch from where Ji-hoon dropped it. The boy stares after his father's car with frightened eyes. It's okay, she signs. We're safe. Let's go inside. But as they turn toward the house, Noel feels it. That prickling awareness that comes from years of working emergency rooms. The sense that something is terribly, terribly wrong. The house is too quiet. The guards who should be visible aren't. She scans the perimeter, sees nothing. But the feeling intensifies. Ji-hoon, she signs urgently. Stay close to me. Very close. The boy picks up on her tension immediately. His small hand grips hers. They're halfway to the house when it happens. Everything goes dark. Not just garden lights. Everything. The entire estate plunges into absolute darkness. Even the emergency systems that should kick in don't. Noelle's training takes over. She pulls out her phone, activates the flashlight, signs to Ji-hoon. Run. Fast. Now. They sprint toward the house. 20 yards. 15. 10. The front door explodes inward, not figuratively. Literally explodes. The lock mechanism destroyed by some kind of breaching charge. The sound is deafening in the night silence. Men pour through. 4. 6. More. Black tactical gear. Faces covered. Moving with military precision that speaks of professional training. Noelle's mind races through options. The panic room. But they'll never reach it. The gate blocked by these men. The guards. Where are the guards? Then she sees them. The 2 guards Soo-min left behind, slumped near the gate entrance. Not dead. She can see shallow breathing, but unconscious. Neutralized before they could sound any alarm. This was planned, timed, executed with the kind of precision that comes from weeks of surveillance. Jin-ho, she thinks. This is Jin-ho. She shoves Ji-hoon behind her, backs toward the koi pond. Her phone is in her hand. Should she call 911? Call Soo-min? But before she can decide, one of the men is there, yanking the phone away, crushing it under his boot. The lead man steps forward, pulls down his mask with theatrical precision. Jin-ho is younger than his surveillance photos suggested, mid-30s maybe, handsome in a cold, sharp way, eyes that calculate cost-benefit with every breath. "Miss Winters," he says. His English is perfect, accent barely detectable. And young Ji-hoon, how fortuitous, both of Han Soo-min's weaknesses in one convenient location. Noelle keeps her voice steady. Years of dealing with emergency room violence taught her. Don't show fear. Don't give them the satisfaction. Whatever you want, he'll give you. Just let the child go. Jin-ho laughs. It's a cold sound. Oh, I'm absolutely counting on him giving me everything. That's rather the point. He pulls out a phone, takes a photo of them, Noelle with Ji-hoon behind her, both clearly identifiable, sends it. The whoosh of the message sounds unnaturally loud in the tense silence. There. Mr. Han now knows I have his son and his… What are you exactly? Teacher? Caregiver? The woman who made him forget his late wife? I'm nobody important. Liar. He smiles. I've watched you. I've seen how he looks at you. Like hope. And hope is the most dangerous weakness of all. He pulls out a weapon. Ji-hoon's hand grips Noelle's so tight it hurts. She can feel him shaking, can feel memories flooding back. Christmas Eve, 2 years ago, hiding in silence while his mother died. Not again, she thinks. Not on my watch. Where are you taking us? She asks. Does it matter? You'll be leverage until Soo-min agrees to my terms. Which he will. Because you're right, he'll give me everything to save you. And then? Then I take what I want. The casual cruelty is worse than rage. This man doesn't hate Soo-min. He just sees him as an obstacle. 2 men grab Noelle. 2 more reach for Ji-hoon. The boy fights, kicking, trying to bite, 7 years old and feral with terror. One of the men produces a small device. No! Noelle thrashes. He's just a child. You don't need to… Something pricks her neck. The world tilts sideways. Her last thought before darkness. Soo-min. I'm so sorry. Noelle wakes to absolute silence. Not peaceful. Absolute. The kind from soundproofed walls and rooms designed for things you don't want heard. Her head throbs. Her mouth tastes like metal. She's restrained to a chair in an abandoned warehouse. Concrete floors, high ceilings, rust stains. Across from her, slumped in a smaller chair, is Ji-hoon. He's unconscious. A small mark on his temple. But breathing. Thank God. Breathing. He's fine, Jin-ho says from shadows. Children are resilient. He steps into light from a single bulb. 4 of his men stand at the perimeter. Armed. Alert. How long? Noelle's voice is rough. 2 hours since we took you. 1 hour since I sent your location to Soo-min. He should arrive in about 15 minutes. Plenty of time for conversation. About what? About why you'd risk your life for a man like him. A man who's eliminated more people than disease. He's trying to change. Jin-ho laughs. Is that what he told you? That he's reformed? Miss Winters, men like us don't get redemption. We get power. Territory. And occasionally, he crouches in front of her. We get to watch our enemies break. You won't break him. I already have. He's coming here. Alone. Because I told him if he brings backup, I eliminate you first. If he brings police, the boy. His only option is surrender. And once he signs over his territory, his connections, his empire, I'll eliminate all 3 of you anyway. He won't come alone. He will. Because love makes men foolish, makes them think sacrifice equals salvation. But this isn't that kind of story. Ji-hoon stirs. His eyes flutter open. When he sees where he is, sees Noel restrained, sees Jin-ho's men, his small body goes rigid with terror. It's okay, Noel signs with her bound hands. Awkward, but readable. I'm here. You're not alone. The boy's eyes fill with tears. Jin-ho notices, touching. You know what's interesting? Soo-jin did exactly this. Stayed calm, tried to protect her son, died doing it. You ordered her death, Noel says flatly. I gave the order. I didn't pull the trigger. I was overseas. But the responsibility is mine. Just business. Soo-min had something I wanted. His wife was unfortunate collateral. She was a person. She was leverage that expired. He stands. Just like you. That's when they hear it. A car engine, cutting out. Footsteps approaching. Jin-ho smiles. Right on schedule. Predictable. Always been his weakness. The warehouse door opens. Soo-min stands silhouetted in the entrance. Alone. Hands raised. No visible protection. I'm here, he calls. Voice echoing. Release them. Not quite yet. Jin-ho signals his men. Search him thoroughly. 2 guards approach. Pat Soo-min down roughly. Remove a weapon from his ankle. A knife from his belt. A phone from his pocket. Clean, one reports. Jin-ho gestures. Come closer. Let's negotiate like civilized men. Soo-min walks forward. His eyes find Noel, then Ji-hoon. For just a second, his mask cracks. Pure anguish, terror, rage. Then it's gone, replaced by ice. You wanted me, he says to Jin-ho. Here I am. Release them. After you sign. Jin-ho pulls out papers. Transfer of all Han organization assets to my control. Sign, and they walk free. Your word means nothing. True, but it's your only option. Jin-ho puts a weapon to Ji-hoon's head. The boy doesn't make a sound, just stares at his father with huge, frightened eyes. Sign, or watch your son die. Again. Noel watches Soo-min calculate, watches him realize there's no good choice, only less terrible ones. He reaches for the pen. Don't, Noel says. He looks at her. I have to. He'll eliminate us anyway, you know that. Maybe. But maybe I can buy time. Maybe. No maybes. She holds his gaze. You taught me to look for another option. Find it. Something shifts in his face. For the first time since entering, he smiles. Not warm, predatory. You're right, he says. And to Jin-ho. You made a mistake. What mistake? Thinking I came alone. Jin-ho tenses. You're bluffing. I said no backup. You said no army, no police. Soo-min's smile widens. I brought neither. The lights go out. Gunfire erupts. Not from inside, from outside. Sniper fire, precise, controlled. Jin-ho's men drop. 1, 2, 3, before they can react. The 4th man grabs Ji-hoon, uses him as a shield. That's when Noel moves. Her ER training taught her something. Restraints can be broken if you know the angle. She's been working hers loose since she woke. Not free, but loose enough. She surges to her feet, chair still attached. She throws herself at the man holding Ji-hoon. They go down together. The weapon discharges. Pain explodes in her chest. Not her shoulder. Not her arm. Center mass. Near her heart. She hears Soo-min roar. Hears violence. Hears Jin-ho's voice. Panicked. Calling retreat. Then Soo-min's face is above hers. His hands pressing on her chest. So much blood. Stay with me, he's saying, or screaming, hard to tell. Noel, Noel, stay with me. Ji-hoon is crying. Actual sobs. Actual sound. Good. Noel thinks. He found his voice. Don't you dare, Sumin says. His face is wet. Tears. Blood. Both. Don't you dare leave me, not like this. Not. Protected him, she whispers. Kept. Promise. You kept it. You kept every promise. Now keep one more. Stay alive. For him. For me. For us. But the darkness is coming. Fast, cold. The last thing she sees is Sumin's face. The ice completely gone. Just a man. Terrified. Human. Loving her. Georgetown ER knows Noelle. She's worked here for 3 years. Saved lives. Held hands. Witnessed miracles and losses. Now she's the one in the trauma bay. Penetrating chest injury. 2 millimeters from her heart. Massive blood loss. Emergency surgery. Touch and go for the first 6 hours. Sumin refuses to leave. Nurses try to enforce policy. Family only during critical care. But he makes one phone call, some official with leverage, and suddenly rules don't apply. He sits in the ICU. Day 1, day 2, day 3. Ji-hoon beside him. The boy won't leave either. Won't eat unless forced. Won't sleep except in fitful bursts, waking with nightmares. Housekeeper Min brings food. Su-min doesn't touch it. Kwan brings updates. Jin-ho escaped. 3 of his men didn't. The warehouse is clean. No police involvement. Su-min's connections holding. Su-min doesn't care. Doesn't care about Jin-ho or territory or power. He cares about the woman in the bed. Surrounded by machines. Breathing through a tube. Heart beating because of monitors and medications and stubborn refusal to quit. On day 3, he breaks. Not loudly. Quietly. He puts his head in his hands and his shoulders shake, and Ji-hoon, brave, traumatized Ji-hoon, climbs into his lap and signs, "She'll come back. Like I came back. We just have to wait." "I can't lose her," Su-min whispers. "I can't. Not again." "You won't," Ji-hoon signs with total certainty. She promised. She keeps promises. That night, Su-min talks to her. The nurses say unconscious patients can hear. He doesn't know if that's true, but he tries. "When you wake up," he says, holding her hand, "I'm going to take you to the ocean. You mentioned once you love the ocean. We'll go. Me, you, Ji-hoon. We'll build sandcastles and eat ice cream and do every normal thing I've never known how to do." No response. Just the steady beep of monitors. "I'm going to marry you. Properly. Not in a garden where violence found us. In a church. Or a beach. Or a courthouse. Anywhere you want. And I'm going to spend every day making you glad you stayed." The machines beep. "I love you." His voice cracks. "I don't say it enough. Didn't say it at all until now. But I do. I love you. And if you leave me, if winter takes you, I won't survive it. Not intact." He presses his forehead to her hand. "Please, please come back." And on the 4th morning, she does. Her eyes open. Unfocused. Confused. She tries to speak around the tube and can't. Su-min hits the call button. Doctors flood in. The tube comes out. Oxygen mask goes on. Tests. Assessments. Cautious optimism. When they finally clear the room, it's just the 3 of them. Ji-hoon climbs onto the bed, careful of wires and lines. He signs. "Mom." Not Noelle. Not teacher. "Mom." Noelle's eyes fill. She nods. Can't speak yet. Doesn't need to. Su-min sits on the bed's edge, takes her hand, brings it to his lips. "You scared me," he says. She smiles weakly, whispers, "Found another way. Without you. Losing everything." He laughs. It's half sob. You magnificent, reckless, perfect woman. Love you too. His breath catches. You heard. All of it. Her fingers squeeze his. Ocean. Marriage. Normal. Yes. Yes. Yes to all of it. He kisses her then. Gentle. Careful of injuries, but full of promise, full of futures, full of spring after endless cold. When they pull apart, Ji-hoon is signing frantically. Mom, Dad, son, family. Yes, Noelle whispers. Family. 2 weeks later, Noelle is released. Soo-min carries her into the house himself. Refuses help. Refuses logic. Just lifts her like she weighs nothing and carries her over the threshold like they're already married. Dramatic, she teases. Necessary, he counters. The house has changed. Warmer. Flowers everywhere. From staff, from Soo-min's associates, from her co-workers at Georgetown. The fortress feels less like a fortress, more like a home waiting to happen. That evening, after Ji-hoon is asleep, Soo-min asks her to come to the study. She's nervous. This room still feels like Empire headquarters, the place where difficult decisions are made. But when she enters, the monitors are off, the phone's silent. It's just a room. And Soo-min, holding a small box. Sit, he says gently. Please. She does. He kneels in front of her chair. From the box, he pulls out the snowflake brooch, repaired, polished, the clasp fixed, the crystal center gleaming. Soojin's brooch, Noelle whispers. Yes. He turns it over in his hands. For 2 years, I couldn't touch it. Couldn't look at it without seeing that night. Without seeing everything I failed to protect. He looks up. But you found it? In the garden. Where we almost lost everything and instead found each other. And I realized, this brooch isn't just about Soojin anymore. It's about resilience. About love that survives. He pins it carefully to her cardigan, right over her heart, over the bandages still covering the wound. This brooch represents people who keep us alive when we've forgotten how to live, he says. You're that person for me, Noelle, and for Ji-hoon. You're our reason to thaw. His hands cup her face. I'm asking you, not as employer, not as protector, but as the man I'm becoming because of you. Will you stay? Forever? Will you be his mother and my wife, and the center of this family we're building from broken pieces? Noelle can barely breathe. Soo-min. I know I'm not easy. I know my world is complicated. I know I come with history and rivals who might always circle. But I swear, I will spend every day choosing growth over violence, choosing you over everything, choosing to be worthy of what you've given me. What have I given you? Hope. A future. The belief that a man like me can become someone better. Tears stream down her face. You already are. Then marry me, please. Let me spend the rest of my life proving it. She doesn't hesitate. Yes. He closes his eyes, relief washing over him. When he opens them again, they're bright with tears he doesn't bother hiding. He kisses her. Soft. Reverent. When they pull apart, Ji-hoon is standing in the doorway, wide awake, watching. You're marrying Mom? He signs. Soo-min nods. If that's all right with you. The boy runs to them, throws his arms around them both, and in his rusty, unpracticed voice, says clearly, Family. We're family now. Yes, Soo-min says, voice thick. We are. 6 months later, they marry in spring, not in the garden where danger found them, but on a beach in the Outer Banks, sand between their toes, ocean breeze in their hair, Ji-hoon as ring-bearer in a tiny suit he's immensely proud of. Noelle's mother is there, crying happy tears, finally understanding why her daughter stayed in D.C. Soo-min's people are there too. Kwan. Housekeeper Min guards who've watched this transformation from frozen fortress to family home. The vows are simple. I promise, Su Min says, to choose warmth. Growth over revenge. Family over empire. To be the man you see when you look at me, not the one I was afraid I'd always be. Noelle's turn. I promise to stay, through all seasons. To love all of you, the parts you're proud of and the parts you're healing. To build a life where our children... She pauses, smiles, rests a hand on her stomach where a secret is beginning. Know they're wanted, chosen, loved without condition. Sumin's eyes go wide. You're 8 weeks. Surprise. He laughs, cries, kisses her while the crowd cheers. Ji-hoon whoops. Actual sound, actual joy, and throws rice even though no one instructed him. Later, at the reception, Ji-hoon signs to every guest. Mom, Dad, soon, baby sister, family. How does he know it's a sister? Noelle asks. Sumin shrugs. He's been signing it since you told me. Either he's psychic or very hopeful. And you? What do you hope for? He pulls her close. They sway to music. Ocean waves providing rhythm. I hope for this, he says. Forever. You, me, our children. Normal days and quiet nights. Sandcastles and ice cream and all the boring, beautiful things I never knew I wanted. No more empire, no more territory. Oh, I still run the organization. I'm not naive. But, he smiles. I'm delegating. Learning to be a CEO instead of a soldier. Learning that power can protect without requiring violence. You've made me want legitimacy. That's a motivational change, she teases. You're the motivation. You make me believe people can transform. They dance until sunset, until stars come out, until Ji-hoon falls asleep on a beach blanket, clutching his mother's snowflake brooch that Su-min gifted him that morning. When Noelle and Su-min finally return to their hotel room, married now, officially family, they stand on the balcony and watch the ocean. Thank you, he says quietly. For what? For seeing me. For staying. For giving me a reason to change. She leans into him. Thank you for letting me. Somewhere below, waves crash. Eternal. Relentless. Beautiful. Like love. Like the family they've chosen to become. 1 year later, the nursery is painted soft yellow. Gender neutral. Prepared. But Ji-hoon was right. It's a girl. They name her Soo-jin, after the grandmother who saved her brother's life. Noelle holds her daughter in the rocking chair. 4 days old. Tiny. Perfect. With her father's dark hair and her mother's wide eyes. Su-min stands at the window, watching snow fall. First of the season. Soft. Gentle. It's beautiful, Noelle says. It is. He turns. Crosses to them. Looks down at his daughter. His wife. His family. For years, snow meant Christmas Eve. Meant blood and silence. And loss. But now... He touches Soo-jin's tiny hand. She grips his finger. Now it means new beginnings. Ji-hoon bursts in. He's 9 now. Taller. More confident. Voice getting stronger every day. Can I hold her? He asks. Gently, Noelle reminds. He sits beside her. She transfers the baby carefully. Ji-hoon stares down at his sister with wonder. I'll protect her, he says. Like Mom protected me. Like Dad protects all of us. I'll be the best big brother. You already are, Su-min says. They sit together. 4 people who were separate, scattered, frozen. Now a family, now whole. Outside, the snow falls, each flake different, each one fragile and resilient, each one proof that beauty can survive the coldest nights. The last snowflake hits the window, melts against the warm glass, and in its place, the first ray of morning sun appears. Winter hasn't ended. Will never fully end. Because life always holds darkness and cold and moments that test the heart. But now they face it together. As family. As choice. As love that refuses to stay frozen. And that's the most inspirational romance of all. Not the fairy tale where nothing goes wrong, but the real one. Where people choose each other. Where healing is slow. Where families are built from broken pieces and second chances. Where every person is unique. And every heart, no matter how frozen, can learn to thaw. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone who needs to remember that winter always ends. Comment below. What would your choice be? How would you choose love when fear says run? Let us know. Your story matters too. Thank you for spending this evening with Noelle, Soo-min, Ji-hoon, and baby Soo-jin. Their winter is over. Their spring has just begun. And somewhere in your own life, your spring is waiting too. Until next time, may you find your warmth. May you find your courage. May you find your family. Because you, like them, are irreplaceable.